Hey, what's up, people? I had to get away from the cat. The cat going crazy. Crazy cat. What's up? Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Good evening. Good evening. What's up, everybody? I'm here relaxing. It's a little muggy out there. Nobody want to get mugged. Yeah, you get mugged, but it's muggy. Anyway, I just went to go get a 3-piece. Okay? Just went to get a 3-piece. Nothing special, okay? And I made a little extra stop. So, if you with me, we're about to talk about it at the end of the day. Okay? We're going to talk about it because I have a lot to talk about. I can't help it. Let me roll my sleeves up a little bit because, you know what I'm saying? It's about to go down. I haven't had any Popeyes in a while. You know what I'm saying? I'm eating a lot of beets and stuff like that. Beating my heart. Yeah. The infamous large. Do you see anything? Yeah. They're supposed to fill it to the top, but they didn't fill it to the top. So then I have to tell them because they have this perception that when you order a large, you should only get 2 servings. But actually, the model with Popeyes is when you order a small macaroni and cheese, you get 1 serving. But the key is when you order a large, you get 3 servings. So this store is just showing how much they're struggling. And I have to make a complaint that they're not actually giving the full amount. This is the same store that was cutting the chickens in half. Like they was really cutting it in half. These animals, they always want something. They're always ready to eat, and it's just gonna come out their butt. So, like, sometimes I have to just take a break. Of course, I got the 3-piece or whatever with the breast. Actually, says $1 extra. Anyway, cheese pull, right? It's important. Well, I took a while, didn't I? I took a while just to look at that. Is she trying to do me a favor? Man. Woman. Aren't we different? We're not the same. So I stopped over, but when I went in there, I know something different. There's a woman there. Young girl. Right? Looked a little out of place. And the cashier was just running around circles to give her napkins and everything. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Then, when I ordered my 3 pieces, she dumped it in the bag, in the box, like as if I was just about to go on a merry way. She didn't even ask me if I wanted a snack or anything. So after she made it, I'm like, oh my gosh. It makes it sound awkward because I'm like waiting to ask, like, can I get a biscuit? Can I get some fries? Like, can I get something to drink? Can you, like, you supposed to be asking me that? They don't even ask you no more. You're supposed to just know. You're supposed to say, would you like fries and a drink with that? Whatever happened to that? And then, when you know what your order is, even better. Would you like a little sweet treat that to finish you off? No? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Extra ice? Sure. Extra napkins? Yeah. Very simple. But she had to come back to find out, because she just was going to hand it to me right. I was like, don't bring food to the register like that. Got it in her hand. You accepting the money, the same gloves you wearing, accepting the money, the same gloves you wearing to touch the chicken. You know? When I was in there, I noticed when the guy finished washing his hands, he took the napkin and blew his nose in it or wiped his nose or whatever. And then he wiped it all over his hands and rubbed it on his chest. Where they're from? They're from India. Okay? The Popeyes over here. Then I know things is different in different countries, you know what I'm saying? But like, what are you doing? But I know she ain't I know people treat people a certain way. I know they have common sense. So I know she ain't do that to everybody. I know she don't do her kids like that. You know what I'm saying? That's when it's like, well, what the hell's going on? Anyway, got the macaroni and cheese. I didn't even look at it and complain. Didn't ask them to fill it up anymore. Because I already know, when you do that, they could do some stuff. Now I want no Harvard tea or whatever. No Havana Nights for me. Then I wanted to go get a donut in a coffee shop. Everything was going smooth. So I'm gonna get a little donut. Never get a donut. I hardly eat sweets ever. And I'm like, I was thinking about it, it'd be crazy. Like, at least I need to have a little donut. A donut hole or something. So I went to Dunkin' Donuts. When I went in there, people were kind of spread out. Didn't actually look like a line. So normally in coffee shops, when that happens, you can literally just stand anywhere in a coffee shop. They'll let you know when you're next. Just like if you were in a bodega, you could literally just stand anywhere. But this unnaturally blonde black man that was about 6'3", okay, about 230, 260, maybe 260 pounds. Big guy, probably 300. 6'3", blonde hair, whatever. Felt I was cutting in the line because where I was standing happened to be, I don't know. I guess because it was a girl in purchasing at the register. I'm in the back, and there's another girl right there. I don't know if he's next or she's next. So sometimes if it's one person here, one person there, instead of asking, or because y'all not making no line, common sense, you just stand there and you wait to be called on. He didn't know about that. He never even heard of it because what he did was he stood directly in front of me. So much so that his butt was like so close to my crotch. It was like his booty was right there. I was like, we gonna dance? I'm like, this is getting weird. He's like, I was like, what are you doing? He said, I'm standing in line. I was like, you can literally stand anywhere. You'll be next. He's like, no, I'm standing here. Then the guy called him to come. And he was like, yeah. Some people don't have no manners. Anyway. And I'm like, I wasn't skipping you in line. I just came in the store. You could stand anywhere. It's a coffee shop. You don't even have to stand in line. He will call upon you. You cannot just skip the line when you're in a coffee shop. It's impossible. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, enjoy. He's like, enjoy your Popeyes. I was like, oh, now you're trying to pick on me because I eat Popeyes? You eating a donut. What's the problem? And I was like, I had to let him know, you big ape. Let him know that he's a big ape, an idiot. And just because he got his butt wide open, that don't mean you get to act like he's a female. If you're not a female, you're not a female. It's okay. I said you should be ashamed of yourself trying to intimidate a female. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. I was like, all this aggressiveness, like, you just not see yourself, you sound stupid. Said you sound like a big ape. You're like, you can go first. I was like, no, you can't make me. Guy and so like, no, ma'am, you can go next. We about to close soon. It's like, no, I don't move when people tell me to move. I move when I want to. You can go. Try and be a little diva. You don't control anything here. And when he ordered, I was like, yeah, he want to eat all the donuts. With his big fat head, he want to eat all the donuts. He ended up ordering only one donut. And I had to think about it on my way. I said, why he was so pressed for me to go ahead of him? Because he wanted to order a dozen donuts. I bet you he wanted all the donuts that was left. Okay? Want to get on me because I got some Popeyes? Look at yourself in the mirror. And at the end of the day, why are we picking on people? It's a coffee shop. And then when I was paying, right? I was paying. The guy didn't even tell me how much it was. He just said, huh? Yeah. And I was like, holding the money in my hand. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, sir, how much is it? He's like, oh, it's $4. I was like, here you go. He's like, oh. I gave him the money. I was like, am I some ancient artifact? He was laughing. I was telling him, why you ain't tell the guy it's a coffee shop and you can stand anywhere. It's okay. You'll be next regardless. See, that's how it used to be back in the days. So I know, A lot of times when people have coffee shops, it's not as big as you would think. Not even as big as a grocery store. Coffee shops usually small. Like, think it's the size of an office. A break room. That's the size of a coffee shop. And if it's big and it has tables, you would sit. And if there's no tables, it's small. They just have a roundabout. Okay? And when people are ordering in a coffee shop, back in the days, they could literally just stand anywhere. It's that busy. You know what I'm saying? You could do like this. Now they could see this, but they'll remember somebody else did that already. Right? Anyway, I don't know why he was so mad. Oh no. Look like he just came from the gym. Got these little tiny chickens. It's just crazy. I don't know why people want to be so aggressive all the time. I don't know. I'm not gonna entertain it. I had to tell him, like, at the end of the day, and you're doing this to a female. You acting all crazy and aggressive, and I'm a female. Like, he was saying all type of stuff. But guess what I did? I didn't say anything. Didn't say nothing. And he was like, it was a big thing too. He was like, no, you could go ahead of me. And I was like, no, you could go. And he was like, no, you could go. I'm like, I'm not going. You can't tell me what to do. And he was like, because you want to sit here and argue with me then, right? I was like, sir, leave me alone. And he just kept on going back and forth. I'm like, People looking like, he's a whole dude. And he kept trying to talk back when he was leaving. I said, yeah, you want to say one thing before you leave because you want to be a female. You want the last word. What is it getting you? I don't like to argue with nobody in the street. I don't know you. I don't know you, don't want to know you. Okay? That's it. I'm getting ready to like watch my movie and relax. Okay? But that's just what happened when I was outside. Trying to enjoy my day, take a little store run, and God just went off of me. It's like, you want to argue with me? I'm like, no, he want to argue with me. Everything that he hates about himself and the reason why his hair is blonde, he want to argue with me about it. And it's not my fault. How he went through or who hurt him, I'm not her. I'm simply saying we can have manners. And you can stop assuming, because when you assume, you just make a fool out of yourself. Nobody was skipping him in line for him to put his booty on me. Nobody skip you in line. Anyway, chill, okay, and drink a little frescas or whatever. And enjoy this weather. Okay. So, I don't know. Tomorrow or the next day, I got so much things planned. It's coming. It's coming. Just bear with me, people. Like, share, subscribe, okay? And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know exactly when I'm going live. All right, people? All right. Later.